Now we're going to the Fallow Mire. I promise. Wrapping things up at the ward table. Finished crew of ambassadors. We have the results from the Arcanist and the Fade. Which the result is, don't let Dagman hear the Fade. And now to the Fallow Mire and our missing soldiers.
Thank you for coming. Maybe you can solve this mess. Our missing patrols are being held hostage by Avar, barbarians from the mountains.
What are they doing in a bog?
That's the thing. Their leader, he wants them to fight you, because you're the Herald of Andraste.
What do they have against Andraste?
Well, the Avar think there are gods in nature, as in the sky has a god and the forest. The Avar say you're claiming to be sent by one, and they'll challenge the will of your god with their own. I think their leader's just a boastful little prick who wants to brag he killed you.
I've survived demons. I think I can handle myself against some southern barbarians.
Yeah, you'd think, but they're a brawny bunch. Getting to our troops won't be easy. You'll have to fight your way through undead. Wait, you're not squeamish about undead, are you?
They're only corpses possessed by spirits.
Right. Nothing to fear. The Avar are holed up in the castle on the other side of the Fallow Mire. Make her willing, the Inquisition's people are still alive.
Inquisitor, I've something for you.
What is it?
See for yourself, sir.
This is a pretty small area. There's not a lot of quests. There's not a lot to do, so we're gonna do it all in one go. One of the big things to remember about this area is that it is a plague area. Granted, when I say important to remember, it's really kind of impossible to forget when you're here because every 30 seconds there will be a plague reminder in the form of dialogue or a codex entry. This entire area is basically how depressing can we make it. We have the little love letter and then a fancy necklace that we assume was a gift from the gentleman. Both are almost assuredly now deceased. In another cavern we find a cavern? What the hell? In another cabin we find another diary.
More further in. Look, signs of a plague.
A cheerful addition to any decent swamp. At least in the city you can find a decent healer. Out here you have what? Roots and berries?
This is a boarded up cabin that we discover was boarded up to keep the dying occupants inside, to keep them from infecting everybody else, which happened anyway. Fun times! And look, they're rising from the floorboards.
Goodbye.
And now we're looting their house. Also reading their books. So there are 4 of these glowy pillars. When you light the veil fire, a whole bunch of dead come at you. And it's how you can draw the dead out of the swamp and onto the dry land. On the opposite side, each one has a rune, and when you hit all 4 with the veil fire, you get a little, not actually a quest, I misspoke. You get XP, influence, power, and a recipe for a poison. And this journal up here by the second one, that does start a quest that we will also take care of. In this little cave area, we find another unfortunate soul who has succumbed to the plague.
Stay on guard. This bog is infested with all manner of creatures.
Kind of makes you wonder if your soldiers will catch the plague. On the other side of the cave, we have a campsite where we also find a note from a scout warning us about what's to come.
No sign of the Avar who want to challenge me, or the Inquisition's soldiers.
I do think it's odd that nobody comments on that. Sarah, if she's in the party, always comments, but neither Iron Bull, Cassandra, or Dorian are slated to say something to that.
The gaps in the air.
It's what the Herald was sent here to do.
Maybe you do it in God's favor. So, you're Herald of Andraste. My kin want you dead, Lowlander, but it's not my job. No fears from me.
I thought the Avar wanted to fight me.
Our chieftain's son wants to fight you. I'm called in when the dead pile up. Rights to the gods, mending for the bleeding, a dagger for the dying. That's what I do. I don't pick up a blade for a whelp's trophy hunt.
The other Avar kidnapped an Inquisition patrol. Are they all right?
A few were injured in the skirmish, but they were alive. Last I saw them. Someone's trained them well. They killed more of us than I thought they would.
Farewell, then.
Watch the water.
I have no idea why he turned his back to us the whole time. It was kind of funny though. He doesn't normally do that, it just bugged out there.
Oh, quite a smell.
This particular one always makes me just really sad. The alienages in the cities are so horrible. And this poor guy was just trying to get away from the alienage, which are basically slums, just horrible slums. And he's dead. Up here we have the endless waves of death. Granted, I'm higher level, so they wouldn't actually kill me, but they just never stop, so it's just easier to run around. Now once we get past the gate, we're not home free. We have to fight the Avar up to the top of this little ramp and pull a lever on the fortress wall. Now that the lever's been pulled, the gate will raise and we can run up to the fortress where our soldiers are being kept. There's going to be a few Avar standing between us and the fortress, but no big deal. I'm going to skip those. We're going to get right to the main fight.
Herald of Andraste! Face me! I am the Hand of Korth himself!
And he's down. So now we just, well, we loot the body first. But then run down the stairs, head over to the right, and let our troops out.
Herald of Andraste.
I dealt with the Avar. Is everyone all right?
Yes, your worship. The injured need some rest, but we can return on our own.
I can't believe the Herald came for us. I told you, leave us.
As we're leaving, we'll run into the same Avar from before.
God looks after you, Harold. There lies the brat. His father, chief of our holding, would duel me for the loss if he cared enough.
The Inquisition has a purpose your chief lacks.
Is this why the Lady of the Skies led me here? To help heal the wounds in her skin? Aye, I'll join you. Let me make peace with my kid and I'll find where you set your flag.
Now that we've recruited him, we're actually going to head to a different part of the Fallow Mire and take care of that apostate whose book we found earlier. Well, that takes care of that. Since we finished up Fallow Mire, we're back at Skyhold for a few moments.
Inquisitor, Elan Vimal. Honored to represent the College of Herbalists and offer my services as apothecary. My colleague Adan was clear about the worth of your cause. I look forward to assisting him.
I wasn't aware we had requested a replacement for him.
Not a replacement, assistance. With recent escalations, he asked for help so he could spend his time gathering resources. Which means the old tosser wanted some garden time. All the mundane needs of Skyhold will be well tended. If you note anything special, let me know. I'm here to serve the cause we must.
We've also gotten to upgrade the garden, and I opted to go with a chantry garden. Normally I do an herb garden since it lets me grow more and get more elf root, but since this character is very much the champion of Andraste, decided to go with the chantry.
There is a problem that needs your attention, Inquisitor.
A request has been made of you, Inquisitor. Here it is.
What is your evaluation of how we're doing?
I am able to pursue my duties with optimal efficiency, thanks to Skyhold's present state.
As you were.
Yes, Inquisitor.
Shard hunting on the Storm Coast. This does yield us some fun party banter, though.
Can we get away from the water? I'm feeling seasick already.
Those must be the bandits Harding mentioned.
We also take care of the cleaning house quest, which I completely forgot to do. This is where some of our soldiers were killed by the Blades of Hessarian, and we have to deal with it.
These must be the missing soldiers.
I will see that their families are notified when we return.
Our men were murdered by a group called the Blades of Hessarian.
If you're interested, it looks like we can challenge their leader.
Hessarian's blade is supposed to represent mercy, not random slaughter.
It looks like the bandits are camped further along the beach.
Finally, some humidity.
It's always really weird when they talk while I'm looking through one of the skulls. I think that dialogue is meant to trigger after you've been out in the desert and come to an area like this, but I'm not positive. So far, most of the areas we've visited have been pretty damp. This is what Cullen said he had to chant while watching a candle burn down as part of his Templar training.
So, Seeker, seems you have a thing for Qunari men after all.
Certain ones.
He's not just an object to quench your desires, Cass. Make sure you undress him with your eyes respectfully.
Respectfully? That's crazy talk.
Well then, go wild, you two.
Ugh.
That party banner caught me by surprise. The last time I romanced Cassandra, I was a human. So, really was not expecting that. Quite funny. I kind of want to see what the options are with the other two. But yeah, couldn't help it. Had to go with the irreverent and bawdy answer. There are a few Grey Warden journals in the area. It is a quest to pick them all up, so that's something that we're going to be doing as well as we're hunting around for these shards, so you'll see them all. They do a really good job of humanizing
The wardens were here at some point.
In this particular game, we really only get to see the wardens as not the antagonist really, but the unwitting accomplice to the antagonist. So it's nice to have these little touches.
This belongs to the wardens.
Tell me this. Are Navaran cities of the dead actually filled with undead?
Of course. The Mortalitazi lure spirits to possess every corpse buried there.
And then what? Let them wander around willy-nilly?
Only in the abandoned areas. The rest are sealed up in their tombs, I suppose.
Forever? I almost feel bad for them.
After a time, the moaning grates on the nerves. Trust me.
Up here we have a codex entry on the Blades of Hessarian and a little bit of their backstory as well.
Nothing at all, Bull? No trouble having a vint behind you?
Hope you like the view.
You can't deny you enjoy butchering my people.
Hey, butchering implies I'm gonna eat them. Most vints are just gristle and fat in a red wine marinade.
Well, that much is true.
The wardens must have stopped here on the way to the western approach. Did they know what would happen to them there?
Since I am here, I'm going to go ahead and make the Mercy's Crest, which allows me to challenge the leader of the Blades of Hessarian and not have to wipe out the entire group, which I did consider doing since this guy's a little bit more vengeance-minded. I want to take off their heads, that kind of deal. But it's also the best use of resources to only go after the one guy and then have the rest of them as spies.
I have something for you, Commander. The soldiers the Herald rescued from the Fallow Mire arrived an hour ago.
Thank the Maker. We need good news.
We jumped back to Skyhold on the war table quickly just because some timers ran out, so we started the crew of adventurers.
Any news on why Corypheus is sending people to explore elven ruins of all things? No, I suspect he keeps the reason secret, even from his inner circle.
Now entering the Blades of Hessarian camp.
A canary?
Well, if you believe what's been said.
We'll see.
I am kind of standing right now.
So you would challenge the Blades of Hessarian? Or did you expect me to stand down because you're an Oxman?
You killed soldiers of the Inquisition. We cannot let this stand.
You want justice? Claim it.
As long as everyone here respects the outcome.
Your worship, the Blades of Hessarian are at your service. If you want eyes on the coast, here we are.
I've not heard of the Blades of Hessarian.
Our work is often misunderstood, but we serve Andraste and whoever proves worthy of wielding us.
You and your Blades are loyal to the Inquisition?
We're loyal to you. I suppose that's the same thing, your worship.
So there's no ill will over what happened with your former boss?
The man was a bastard. You're not the first to stand up to him. You're just the first to win, and we're happy with that. Besides, I would rather swear my life to the Herald of Andraste.
Do you have anything to report?
Nothing of note, your worship.
I should go.
Safe travels, your worship.
That really wraps things up on the Storm Coast, so just to kill some time, I went over to Crestwood, which is another area that we have a lot of quests to finish up. One of them being to free the old fort. I believe are the sad splinters that I need to make that sad weapon. We're going to keep fighting all of the way up. Really nothing remarkable, and I showed a fair bit of it last time, so we're just going to skip straight to the top.
gets all of them.
We could throw the Inquisition's banner over the battlements. The villagers may not even object.
Plant our flag and claim this as our own. Do 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 do. Go Inquisition.
Another stronghold for the Inquisition. What now?
You should let the villagers know we took care of the bandits.
All right, I'll see you guys next time.